And I've known the fighter I'm fighting. So the approach to the fight has been leading towards August 20th.
Yes.
Nothing is more satisfying than knocking down a boastful boxer. And Anthony Joshua is ready to take on this challenge as he accepts the fight against Zhilei Zhang, a relatively easy opponent compared to others he's faced. Joshua agrees to fight Zhang on the condition that Zhang shows the same power and strength he displayed during his fight against Wilder. Joshua wants a fair and exciting match, and he's confident he can handle Zhang. "I'm not expecting anything else. Just show me what you did back there, and that's more than enough for me to fight you," said Anthony Joshua, expressing his readiness to face Zhilei Zhang in the ring. As someone who always takes his opponents seriously, Anthony Joshua's decision to fight Zhilei Zhang might seem easy to some people, but Joshua is known for his intelligence and strategic thinking, both inside and outside the ring, so he might be onto something. Now, in reality, choosing to fight Zhang was not an easy decision for him. It wasn't because he was afraid of losing to Zhang, but rather the opposite. He was worried that the fight might be too easy, as he believes Zhang might not be a very tough opponent.
Intelligence and my brain outside the ring, people think it's all been easy. And I think there's this assumption that it's kind of been handed to me, and there's a level of, not hate, but we can call it that.
It's hate.
Yeah, you can call it that, but...
When rumors of fighting Zhang came up, Joshua had to think hard about it. He didn't want to take on a fight that wouldn't challenge him or help him grow as a boxer. He wanted to ensure that every match he fought was worth his time and effort. Anthony Joshua recently made a confident statement about his potential fight against Zhilei Zhang. He said that just like in his previous fights, he plans to finish this one quickly. Joshua has already set his mind on defeating Zhang, even before the promoters would finalize the match.
And I'm a very strong-minded person. I know once it's all done, for me, it's all done.
And if you ask me, this mindset shows why Joshua stands out from other fighters. He not only prepares for the fight itself, but also mentally prepares for his victory. He doesn't wait for things to be confirmed before he starts his preparations, and him being proactive gives him an edge over his opponents. And because of that, by the time the fight is officially announced, Joshua is already ahead in his training and mental readiness. Anthony Joshua believes that it doesn't really matter who he fights. For him, being in the ring is where he truly feels at home. It's a place where he can be himself and feel comfortable. When Joshua steps into the ring, he transforms into someone great, someone who can dominate and beat his opponents. He thrives on the challenges and the adrenaline of the fight.
But for me, personally, it's where I feel comfortable and where I can be myself.
People who have seen Joshua fight say that he enjoys the challenge of figuring out how to defeat his opponent, using both his physical strength and his mental agility. He feels that the ring is where he can be his true self, and this confidence is a key part of his success. He understands that people might believe fighting Zhang is a mistake. He acknowledges their concerns and says that maybe they're right, but also maybe they're wrong. The truth, he feels, lies somewhere in the middle. He admits there is a risk, and he might lose something by fighting Zhang. However, he also sees the potential for significant gains. He believes the rewards could be just as great as the risks. In the end, he summarized his thoughts by saying that once the fight begins, it will happen, and there won't be any turning back. It will simply be a matter of seeing it through to the end.
I can make mistakes because I'm not around people that have as much to lose as me. It will all be done one day anyway.
Yeah.
So why change for this period of time to accommodate everyone around me when I'm not being true to myself?
Joshua is really pumped up about stepping into the ring with Zhilei Zhang. He's heard all about Zhang's big win over Deontay Wilder, where he knocked him down hard in the 5th round. But instead of just cheering for Zhang like everyone else, Joshua has some doubts. He thinks Zhang might have just lucked out because Deontay wasn't at his best that day. So, while others are celebrating Zhang's victory, Joshua is skeptical and thinks there might be more to the story. Joshua has another idea about why Zhang won against Deontay. He thinks maybe Deontay was kind of letting Zhang win because he already planned to retire from boxing. In Joshua's mind, Deontay's loss might just be his way of making an exit from the sport. So, instead of seeing it as a straightforward victory for Zhang, Joshua thinks there could be some strategic moves going on behind the scenes. I can't just accept that Deontay was simply beaten so easily. There's a sense that something fishy was going on, like the fight was rigged. It's like Deontay was already planning to step out of the ring before the match even started. It all seems a bit too convenient, you know? Anthony Joshua has got 3 possible people to fight in September. This means he's still got something to prove, but he's also at a stage where he needs to be really careful. He has to make smart choices to get the most out of what he's got left in him. He's walking a tightrope, balancing between continuing his career and making sure he doesn't overdo it. He's got to think long and hard about his next moves to make sure he makes the most of his remaining energy and skill. Despite facing 2 tough losses against Alexander Usyk, the 34-year-old hasn't let that hold him back. He's come back stronger with 4 wins in a row, and the last 3 have been super impressive. This has really boosted Joshua's standing in the boxing world. Now he's in a prime position for a major fight, or even a shot at a world title. Eddie Hearn, a British promoter, said that Anthony Joshua might get to fight the winner between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. This is a huge deal because it could mean Joshua gets a shot at the undisputed heavyweight title. Even if Fury gets his revenge and they end up having another fight, Joshua might still be in line for a shot. In March, Joshua stepped into the boxing ring for his latest match. The venue was Saudi Arabia, where he faced off against the formidable Francis Ngannou. Joshua showed his skill and power, delivering a brutal knockout to Ngannou in just the second round. Now, Joshua is gearing up for his next challenge, and all eyes are on him once again. His opponent, Daniel Dubois, a rising star in the boxing world. Dubois recently made headlines by defeating Filip Hrgovic, securing the IBF interim belt in the process. The stage is set for a showdown between these 2 titans of the ring, with Wembley Stadium as the backdrop. But hey, this is also just a rumor. Of course, the stakes are higher than ever for Joshua. If this fight happens and he can emerge from this upcoming battle unscathed, he will pave the way for an even greater challenge. Waiting in the wings are 2 formidable opponents, Fury and Usyk. These 2 heavyweights are set to face off in a rematch of their own later in the year, scheduled for December. Should Joshua emerge victorious against Dubois, he will be poised to take on the winner of this epic showdown. From the promoter's view, they're hyping up Joshua's next potential opponents and venues. But when it comes down to Joshua himself, he's not too picky. He's just eager to step back into the ring and throw some punches. That's been his stance all along. He's not one to cherry pick his opponents. If he had a choice, though, he might lean towards facing Zhang. Why? Well, Zhang made headlines recently for knocking down Deontay with some serious power, and that kind of buzz makes for an exciting match. But what about you? Who do you think Joshua should fight? Should he fight Zhilei Zhang, or should he take on more challenging fighters? Please comment your thoughts down below.
There was talk before this fight of potentially Anthony Joshua fighting Deontay Wilder. Now Zhang has beaten Wilder. Does he want to fight Anthony Joshua next?
可以，任何人都可以。我有2番的。
Yeah, definitely. I believe I have the pocket rematch. I have different options. If Joshua want to come see me, get in the line.